We are starting, and what we are going to do in the very first video of our series, this is for test 2, right? This is for statistics test 2, which you are writing literally this morning. I'm recording right now, and you're going to write in the evening. You're writing today. So what we are going to do is we're going to quickly summarize the concept which you need. We try to answer several tutorial questions and several past paper questions, and we see how it goes. So let's just analyze the scope of your test 2. Your test 2 is just including three exercises. Number 1 is going to be the box and whisker plots. And then number 2 is going to be measures of dispersion. And then number 3 is going to be week 8 material, which is probability. So, and if we know this, then we are going to be ready for the test. So we need to know about box and whisker plots. We need to know about the measures of dispersion for both grouped and ungrouped data. And then we need to know about probability. This is not hard. So let's start with the things that we're going to need for box and whisker plot. I'm going to show you the box and whisker plot, and then it's going to take you back to, you see, when we talk about these measures of dispersion, we're going to also talk about measures of central tendency or measures of location, because, and I'm going to explain, it's because we need them for box and whisker plot. So box and whisker plots, for us to do box and whisker plot, we will need the median. For us to do box and whisker plot, we will need to know the lower quarter, we need to know the upper quarter, and then we'll deal with it. So let's start with the box and whisker plot, and from there we are going to go to measures of dispersion. So what is it that we are going to need to know for box and whisker plot? Now what I want you to know is that for this first thing and this second thing, there are two types of questions which you can get for box and whisker plot. And there are two types of questions which you can get for the measures of dispersion questions, like for variance, coefficient of variation, variance, coefficient of variation, then whatever else you get, standard deviation, whatever else you get, interquartile range. These are measures of dispersion. We're going to talk about them. For box and whisker plots, and for that, there are two types of questions. Number 1 is the question that deals with calculating. And calculating, it is unforgivable for you to not do it well. And then the other one is to interpret your results. So let's start with this box and whisker plot. Now a box and whisker plot looks like this. Okay, you have your box, and then you're going to have your whiskers like this at the end. And inside your box, you're going to have a third line, which this line is going to be your median. So this is going to be your median, and then which is just Q2, right? And then this is called a vertical box and whisker, which I'm showing you right now. The lower thing is going to be your Q1. The upper thing is going to be your Q3. Then this is going to be the highest value, okay? This is going to be the highest value, but this, and then this is going to be the lowest value. Now, this highest value that we have, what you're always going to do is you are going to say the interquartile range. You're going to get the interquartile range from saying Q3 minus Q1. Let's put, you're going to get the median. So the first thing you do if you want to plot your box and whisker plot, it can be vertical like this, or it can be horizontal, which is like this, and it can have these whiskers. So this is going to be again your Q3. This is going to be your Q1. Then this median is your Q2, which is going to be the median. Then this is going to be the highest value. You can't forget this. It's impossible. You can't. This is going to be the lowest value. Now, this is the general box and whisker plot, where you're going to have, so what you do is you arrange all your data in order of increasing order, like an increasing order. You make sure you have arranged your data. Then you look for median. For you to get median, you need to have your order in increasing order. When you get your median, then you're going to get Q1, then you're going to get Q3, then you're going to get your lowest value. You're going to check for the lowest value and the highest value, and you put your thing. Now, what you must know is this. This is just the general box and whisker plot, but there is what we call the adjusted box and whisker, which is the one they expect you to know, which is a box and whisker which shows outliers. So now what you do is you're going to have interquartile range, and interquartile range is going to be Q3 minus Q1. This gives you your interquartile range, right? Your interquartile range like this. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to have, adjusting is now, first of all, you're going to get your median. You're going to get your Q1. You're going to get your Q3. Don't worry, for this one, we'll show you how to get them. This one is not a problem. But you're going to get your median. You get your Q1. You get your Q3. When you have this, you're going to get your interquartile range. Now, this interquartile range is a very important value, because once you have the interquartile range, you're going to get another value, which is called the value we use to adjust. I wish it had a name. I don't know of any name, but that value is going to be 1.5 of IQR. Okay, so you're going to get the adjusting, let's call it the adjusting value. Okay, the adjusting value, the value we use to adjust. This is going, because now we want to do what we call the adjusted box and whisker plot. So what you do is you're going to say 1.5 times IQR. Okay, you would have found your interquartile range by saying Q3 minus Q1. Then you're going to find this adjusting value, which is 1.5 times IQR. This is the value which you choose, which you use to find outliers. Now, what happens is, for you to then choose this lowest value, you are going to say Q1 minus this solution which you have found here, which is 1.5 IQR. Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. This is going to give you the value to use to get the smallest. So it's going to be smallest value limits, okay? Smallest values limit. This you're going to get a value, and this value you're going to get is going to be the boundary for which you are going to use to find outliers. An outlier is going to be any value which is smaller than this. When I say Q1 minus 1.5 IQR, this is going to give me where every value should end. So for me, the value I'm then going to put as the lowest value is the value in my data which is not smaller than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. Because if it is smaller than that, then it is going to be an outlier. Then now you're going to say, to find outliers this side, you are going to say, after using this adjusting value, you're going to say, what is Q3 plus 1.5 IQR? Okay, plus 1.5 IQR. This will give you the largest values limit. Okay, largest values limit. So now you get a value. Now to find the value you're going to put here as the largest, you go to your set of data and you're going to choose the biggest value, which is going to be smaller than this. Okay, because if you have a value which is bigger than this, it will now be an outlier. So this is what you're going to do. This is basic first. First, you're going to get median, and you can now go and check in the next video where I tell you how to then get the median and the Q1 and the Q3, blah, blah, blah. But first, you should know that you're supposed to get median. You're supposed to get Q1. You're supposed to get Q3. Then when you have them, you're supposed to get the adjusting value, which you first get interquartile range, and you say 1.5 times that. Now, to get the minimum for the lowest, you say Q1 minus that. To get the maximum value that is going to be accepted, the limit for it is going to be Q3 plus that. Okay, then we're going to use it to choose the largest value and the smallest value. A value which is smaller than this is going to be an outlier. A value which is larger than this is going to be an outlier. And that is what we do with our box and whisker. So first of all, you've seen that, right? Now in the next video, we're going to then talk about how to get the median, and we'll talk about how to get the mean. This is the revision session because we talked about how to get the median and the mean when we talked about measures of central tendency. But for this test, we don't need the other ones. We only need the median and we only need the mean. We don't really need the mode. We don't need it for anything. We don't really need the other things, but median and mean, we are going to need them for the things, okay? And of course, the quartiles, which is Q3 and Q1. But for now, we say goodbye, and we're going to meet in the next one where we talk about measures of central tendency, or the measures of location, particularly the mean, the median, and the quartiles, which we are going to use, this Q3 and this Q1. Okay, goodbye for now. We'll meet in the next one.